Hey everybody, it's Sue from Ravens and Safe Crafts. Oh, sorry, my hair is a total mess. Um, how's everybody doing today? Oh my goodness, I washed it yesterday, but then I put it right up in a ponytail, and now it is a hot mess. So I'm just gonna throw it back in a ponytail. Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, 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 or welcome back everybody to my channel. I'm Sue, your host for Ravens Escape Crafts, where we talk about crafty stuff and all kind of life stuff. And it has been a hot minute since I made a video with you guys. I'm so sorry. Um, Not that I'm making excuses, but I am. So I'm gonna put my hood up. It's chilly. Ugh, there we go. It's my hair again. So how has everybody been? I'm good. Um, ugh. So the reason I didn't make a video last week was last week was just crazy. I just never got a chance between um we had a snowstorm over the weekend well, not this past weekend, the weekend before that, and then so my husband was home Monday. My kids were home all week with school. They had virtual, and then of course my aide was here, and then so between like everybody being around, it's really hard for me to film. Ugh. It was crazy. There was just people. It was driving me nuts. So I did not get to make a video last week. I feel so bad. I tried even like Thursday night I was going to do a video, and then my son, because my husband was downstairs recording his podcast, and then my son was up here chit-chatting with me, so then I didn't get to do that. It was just a week. It was just not, I'm sorry, this freaking thing is going in and out. It was just not a week I could go record a video because I was never by myself. And then this weekend, yesterday I thought, oh, they're going to go downstairs and record, and it took like forever to get them settled and situated, and everybody was arguing about what they wanted to do. So by the time they finally went downstairs to record, I took a nap. I was exhausted. I was exhausted from it. So I apologize. Apologize. And you know what? The other thing was I didn't have like a ton to talk about because like nothing got done last week. I was working on, I didn't have anything new that I made. I didn't show you guys. Because I was I was finishing the stuff up that I did show you. I don't remember what that was. There was maybe one thing I made that I didn't show you. I don't remember. I don't know. And then, yeah, and then, yeah, no, I remember the last thing I showed you guys. I just don't remember. And then I was not the most productive last week either because, again, like I said, it was like crazy town around here all week long. And then, so then I worked on, because I had ordered some Hirschner's yarn in October that was their Sparkle Christmas yarn. They're like bright sparkle. Here else. This color. Ugh. This color. And because I make these were really popular, the Christmas hats. I did this one, and then I did like in this color, which is like a bright Christmas, and then I did like a traditional Christmas one they have too, which is more like an antique colors. Like they're more like the white's more of like a cream, and then the green's more of like a mossier green, and the red's more of a muted, like a more burgundy color. And so these were like my most, between those two, they were really popular. And then I add the pom-pom on the top. Well, I ordered more of this yarn in October. Well, I didn't get it until I got it last week. Because my husband goes, one day he's like, there's a package out front. I'm like, I did not order anything. I know I did not order anything. Because I tell him if I order something. So, and then he comes in and he's like, oh, it's Hirschner's. And I'm like, I have not ordered Hirschner's for a hot minute. And so, of course, it was this yarn. So, a good portion of the week I spent working on these hats. I know it's past Christmas, but you know what? It's crochet. It doesn't go bad. And I didn't really have room to put all this extra yarn. So I made 4 more of these hats. They just got to get washed. So I spent a good portion of the week working on those. Because I need to get the yarn. Oh, I wanted to make them. And again, my Christmas bin of yarn is like super full. And I didn't want to make another Christmas bin. And I really like... hold on. I just got a text. I really like to keep all my Christmas yarn in that one tote if I can. And I just didn't want to put some somewhere else and then I forget about it. So, that's what happened. So, like I said, plus I was thinking about making a video and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even have anything to talk about. Like, I've been snowed in all week. I didn't leave the house at all last week. In between, we got snow and then it got cold and it turned to ice. And not only am I not able to walk good on normal time, I have to walk with a walker, but now I've had surgery. I was like, I don't think it's the best that I go out. You know what I'm saying? Let's not fall, you know? So I spent the whole week at home. I mean, obviously I was not lonely, but yeah, so I was at home all week. And so I was like, I don't even have anything to talk about. Like, nothing happened. Like I said, it was just, you know. So, yeah. So that's why I didn't make a video. It's a long story short, right? Or long story long. So how have all of you been? I know it's been cold and there's been weather across the country. I hope everybody's staying warm. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's gotten a lot of crafting time in or didn't have a crazy week like I did with everybody. Like I said, I'm trying to recover from this surgery this whole time. And so, yeah. Ugh. So what do you guys have on the hook or the needles or whatever else crafty stuff you do? What are you guys working on? I would love to hear about it. I really, really would because I love to hear about other people's crafts. I love to get inspired. I've been watching some other creators on YouTube when I get a chance to see what they're working on. Passionate Kelsey's been working on all kind of Valentine's Day stuff, so I've been watching some of that, trying to get some ideas. Yeah, I've been trying to see what other creators are working on. I know Greg from Greg's Loops was working on some loom knitting. He's been big into loom knitting right now. Yeah, I don't know if I guess it's still, or Greg over yonder, I think he is now. It's hard to keep up. And of course, I absolutely love. I was watching. If you don't watch, oh my goodness, I was watching. Well, Fiber Spider and them had a live the other night. That was freaking hilarious. I absolutely love his lives. If you don't follow Fiber Spider, I mean, not only does he talk about like crochet and knitting and quilting, and he does cooking videos, and he does solitaire videos, teaches you all sorts of different ways to play solitaire. He has all kind of different videos. Fiber Spider is like amazeball, and he talks. But I absolutely love their lives because like he goes on like to talk about. They start talking about yarn, and then it always goes to other stuff. I mean, everybody's working on something, but they talk about movies, video games, music, you name it, food, all sorts of stuff. They're the best. I love watching his lives. They always turn into just like a good hang, you know what I mean? Like a good hangout. So, I was watching him. I've been watching some regular TV. So I'm obsessed with The Pit. Oh my god. Have you guys watched The Pit? I love The Pit on HBO Max. Oh, so good. So good. Obsessed. That, and of course I still watch Grey's. I watch Chicago Med. I watch, oh my god, Below Deck and My Real Housewives are my guilty pleasures. The new season of Below Deck starts tomorrow, so that should be interesting. Below Deck Down Under. We just finished below deck with Captain Sandy. I love Captain Sandy. But I saw Daisy from Sailing Yacht is going to be on Down Under, so that should be interesting. We'll see, because she's a bit of a mess, you know. So, what else? So I'm working on another one of those tester hat, the Mardi Gras kind, if you saw my video. That's what's on my hooks right now. Yep, so yeah, I did some reading last week. I did some watching some TV. I did some dealing with everybody being home. Tried to keep the place in one piece, you know what I'm saying? Especially with two teenage boys and one grown-up man. Sometimes the testosterone level in here is a bit much. Yeah, a little bit. They're not terrible. None of the three of them are terrible, but sometimes it does. We do butt heads scout, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, trying to keep that all in check. Of course, kids were doing virtual, which they don't love, you know, so they get, you know, they're at home, they don't really want to work and stuff, and then their teachers are giving them projects and things. So that was a whole, you know, trying to keep them motivated. I mean, they do their work. Don't get me wrong. They do their work, but, you know, the motivation, not so much. Well, so we did that. Boys had their last 2 basketball games for band over the weekend on Saturday, so they were gone a little bit on Saturday. Again, Saturday, I was like, woo, we get some time. Just Todd and I, we're going to spend some time together, watch stuff, and like hang out. And yeah, he took the kids to basketball. I fell asleep. I woke up. I was barely getting like, oh yeah, you know. And then it was time to go get them again. Yeah, so. Yep, yeah. I mean, I had spent the whole week with them, so, you know, in my defense. And, you know, again, the hard part is, like, they go to bed at 10-ish. Todd goes to bed at, like, midnight. I'm not the kind of person, like, I try to get him to go to bed a little bit earlier than that. But, like, once they go to bed, he wants to hang out a little bit, and then, so he doesn't go to bed before 11 or 11:30 usually. Well, I'm not the kind of person, he's the kind of person who, he goes up, head hits the pillow, out. I'm not that person. I don't fall asleep that fast. Ever. Never, ever, ever. As a kid or ever, you know. So, my issue is, so then, till I get to sleep, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and then, of course, half the time I wake up at 3 or 4 because I have to pee, and then his alarm goes off at 5:30. Well, that wakes me up, so I don't get that much sleep, you know. So then during the day, I end up taking a nap. You know, it sucks because I'd rather do other stuff during the day. I'd rather not take a nap. But, like, usually by 11 o'clock, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so tired. And rightfully so. I need to be less hard on myself. We all need to be less hard on ourselves, especially since I'm still, like, you know, technically recovering from surgery. I do have my appointment tomorrow, Tuesday, morning, first thing with the surgeon's office to get my, you know, it's my post-op checkup. And they did get my test results for the appendix, and I'll be able to tell you more after tomorrow, but I got the results in my chart. Yeah, it's endometriosis, just what I thought it was, which is good. I mean, obviously, thank God, not cancer. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God, because that was the real concern, obviously. I would also explain why I have spots other places that are not so easy to get rid of. So, because I do have another similar tumor on my adrenal gland on my kidney. Well, I'm willing to bet you it's the same dang thing. So, and the thing that I'm thinking and positive about is I do have OBGYN appointment in March. And so now that I know, like, we have laboratory facts that I have endo going on, I can ask, like, is some of my problems that I'm having related to this? And hopefully they, you know, hopefully, because it is an all-female group, so I am hope. We'll see. Dealing with doctors is maddening. That's all I have to say. Sorry. I'm not talking about crafting as much anymore. So, what else did I want to... Oh, I know what else I want to talk about today. Alright, so I thought, with everything going on in the world, oh my god, I want to do a funny... Let's talk about something that I think is hilarious. Is how we get down, and I'm going to work on my my hat a little bit, how we get down the rabbit hole on social media. Okay, because I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and how social media puts you in these rabbit holes and you get stuck. Alright, hold on. Alright, so let's talk about going down the social media rabbit hole. I just think this is like, I've just I was telling my husband about this the other day. So, like, I'm on Facebook, Insta, Twitter. Not Twitter. I used to be on X a little bit, but I don't like X very much. And I'm on TikTok. And I end up going down rabbit holes, especially on Facebook all the time. Because they give you these suggestions, like, you know, one time, like, for perfect example was somehow I got on they put a suggested post for backyard chickens. Okay, I do not own chickens. I have never owned chickens. I have no desire to own chickens. I am not. I love all creatures. Don't get me wrong. I love all animals. I am not a bird person. I like looking at birds. I like feeding outdoor birds. I like putting up a bird feeder. I like when the birds come in my yard. I like listening to them sing. I like watching them. I don't want to have one in my house. I'm not a bird person. I don't know what I did to a bird in a former life or something, but birds tend to not like me very much. I have had some bad encounters with birds over the years. People's birds that they own. And even nice birds don't seem to care for me very much. I don't know what it is. So, it's not that I don't like birds, because I do like birds. I love looking at birds. I think blue jays, love goldfinches, absolutely love the woodpecker we have out back. You know, I love the goldfinches I get on my sunflowers every year. Love. Have tons of pictures on my phone of them. Even the stupid mourning doves, because they're dumb. They're not bright. Okay, I'm sorry, but they're not bright. I know some people love them, but they're not bright. I like watching them do stupid things in my yard. I love watching the finches and the sparrows and everybody else that comes to visit me in my pond and in my birdhouses that I have out back. But I have no desire to own chickens. But yet, for probably the past 2 years, I have been getting posts about backyard chickens. And again, I see what I completely understand why people have them. They make you eggs. You get not free, obviously, eggs, but if you get eggs all the time from them, you eat them, or people have them as just pets. I know more about owning backyard chickens than I ever wanted to know. I know how to treat them. I know how much to feed them. I know how to put them in brooders and how long they stay in incubators and how long they stay in the brooder until you can put them out in the chicken tractor. I know what a chicken tractor is. Didn't know that before. Yes, I know that now. I certainly do. I know all that stuff. I know how to soak them in Epsom salts when they get egg bound. I know all the medications that you should give them with all sorts of things. I know what bumblefoot is. I know what Impacted crop is, I know all these things. Why? Because somehow I ended up on a backyard chicken. I don't follow the group. I do not, but they come up in my feed. So, yes, I also know tons about canning. Okay? Because, again, something came up. I have canned things. I've canned not a lot in my life. I am not a avid canner like a lot of people are. I do not can hundreds or thousands of cans of things a year. I have made things like salsa. I have made things like spaghetti sauce. With my things that I grow out in my backyard. I have made many kinds of jams and jellies. Well, no, I've never made jelly. I make jams or preserves. I've made lots of stuff like that. I have canned. I've canned pickles and things like. Like pickled green tomatoes. I don't know if you ever had those. They're really good. But I have no desire to become a super canner. No, none at all. Never have. Certainly not a rebel canner, which I now know what that is, which is people who can things that are not supposed to be canned as per what is considered safe. Yeah. There are a lot of things that you can, there's a ton of things you can can. A ton, which I've learned. I learned about a lot of things you can can that I didn't realize were safe to can, to be honest with you. I've learned that you can can things like, even like dried beans, which I would have never thought of canning because they're already shelf stable, but a lot of people can them because then they're ready to go. It makes sense to me. And then there's rebel canners who can things that you aren't supposed to can, like cheese or milk or all kind of other stuff. Or like water bath canning meat. No, you can pressure can meat. If you're using a pressure canner, you can meat perfectly safely. There's people that water bath it. I would never. No, and I am also not interested in using a pressure canner because those things scare the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. There's a lot of pressure in those things. I've seen bad things happen to pressure canners, and I don't. Or not pressure canners, pressure cookers. No, I don't. No. So, that being said, more recently though, here's where we're gonna have some fun. I have somehow, and I don't know how. All right, let me preface this, okay? I am a natural, holistic kind of medicine gal. As long as, I would much prefer to try to not take prescription medication. It has its place 1,000%, okay? It has its place, especially like, antibiotics when it's a, something that is not getting better. You know what I mean? 1,000%. So, I am not for antibiotics for any kind of cold, whatever, If you're getting better from it, no, I think we've overused them and now we're creating scary superbugs. But there's a plethora of uses for antibiotics that are amazing and things like that. There's also quite a few prescription medications that I've seen make people live much longer, healthier lives. Then again, I also have seen some prescriptions that I don't necessarily think benefited the user as much as, how do I want to say this? I watched some stuff with my parents. I'm still watching things with my mother. Prescriptions that they're given and taken that I don't feel are necessarily in their best interest. My opinion. So, I am all about holistic. I would much rather take a vitamin than a prescription medicine any day if it's possible. But again, prescriptions have their place. I do not think that everything can be cured naturally. I don't. Um, so somehow, and I don't even know how, I started ending up on these like natural tincture groups and stuff like that. Now, again, I it's not something out of my realm of interest because I do think that there is a lot of herbs and a lot of different things that are natural that can, you know, do the same thing as what these prescription drugs do. I think you can have some good results, you know what I mean, as long as you're sensible about it. Um, using certain things to help. And I've seen it. I've seen it at great length help people using, different like extracts, herbs, things like that to create a healthier lifestyle. And again, I do think that you can, there's a lot of good supplementing stuff out there to, I don't say, like replace some of, we don't live in the world that we were created for. Let's put it that way. People weren't necessarily created to live indoors all the time, not be in the grass, not killing our own food. We are not as active as we should be. We are using electronics and things that are not natural. So there's a lot of things that I do, and also even I started making my own soap. Why? Because I was using body wash and my skin is sensitive and I have reactions from certain things. And when I started playing around with making my own soap, I noticed that my skin, personally, so many fewer problems when I started making things that I knew what was in it. And I also found that adding certain things to my soaps, now these are not claims that I make, because I can't make medical claims, but I personally found that certain things that I add to my soaps have helped my personal skin, that some of these, like buying commercial body wash, which is what I did for years, and then dealt with certain skin issues that I have not had in the years since I started making my own soap. So, again, I like natural stuff. I like, but, oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so I recorded the second half of this video and then, my storage was full, and then I went to delete some things, and I deleted the second half of this video somehow. I don't know how. So I went on quite a rant. I'm gonna make. I still want to make some of this up because I think it was hilarious, but I still want to tell you guys about it. So basically, what I was saying before this video got deleted was, I was telling you about, I ended up in these tincture groups and stuff like this. Well, these people, somehow I got on these other groups, okay, where I'm going to make it a little less, but I still think it's hilarious, and I think you guys are going to kick out of it. I have concerns about people because, I ended up on this borax group, which, long story short, I said this a lot longer before my video got deleted, I had terrible reactions to borax in the past. I don't think I told you about this. And I think this is still part of my second part of the rant. And these people are drinking borax. They're drinking it, taking baths in it. I don't know that the baths are necessarily the worst thing ever. But I do think that certain people do have bad reactions to borax. I had terrible reactions. I used it one time when I was a kid. My mom had me try to use it on socks. I had in the sink, I added a little bit, maybe a tablespoon to a sink full of water to soak my socks in that had gotten dirty because I ran around with those shoes on. and she wanted me to try to clean my socks, my white socks, and I had a terrible, basically my hands broke out, turned into dragon skin. It was terrible. It was painful, painful, painful. It took me well over a week to get over. I never used borax again. She never bought borax after that. I had a horrible reaction to it. And then, like, there was the lady on this Facebook group the other day who was saying, like, they were telling people to use it as, like, a face scrub. Okay? So this lady did the face scrub, and she posted a picture of her face all, like, red and oozy and not good looking. Like, it almost looked like a burn, which I think it probably was a burn. And what are they telling her? They were telling her, oh, no, that is your body reacting to the toxins coming out. You need to keep using it every day. I'm like, this girl is going to have severe, like, she's not going to have skin on her face. Oh my God. Like, she's obviously having a negative reaction to the borax. Like, and you're telling her to keep using it? I have concerns. I have concerns for these people's mental health. And they're like, oh yeah. And like, okay, like, if you don't know, borax is boron, which is, it's like boric something, it's mined, it comes from the earth. Which is why these people say it's completely safe. You know. So, again, just because it's natural does not mean it's safe. Let me just put it that way. This is the part that kills me. It's like these people are like, but it's natural. It comes from the earth. It's obviously good. Well, no, it's not. Because guess what else comes from the earth? Like uranium. I don't want to put that on my skin. I don't want to take a bath in it, or I don't want to drink it. No. Because it's not safe. In fact, talking about rabbit holes on the internet, I love this group. It's called like Emergency Plant Identification, Emergency Biological Identification, something like that. And it's an entire group, and it's really cool. There's a couple of them, and there's another one for just like funguses and stuff like that. And what it is it's experts. It's actually run by experts about like plants and things that and like what happens is, if say an adult, a person or a child or a pet ingest something, you can post it up there and experts will tell you what it is. And even a lot of doctors post things, or veterinarians post things, and let me tell you, it's kind of scary because a lot of times it's something harmless, and I find it very fascinating that people do get help. That these people are out there just willing to help for nothing. Obviously, it's on and nobody's allowed to comment except for the experts that they allow. But all of us can see them, and anybody can post in them, but it has to be for an emergency. But let me tell you, there's occasions on those sites where they say, and this is how you know it's bad, I'm sorry, but it's XYZ mushroom, or it's XYZ plant. And when they say, I'm sorry, but, that usually means it's not going to be a good outcome. Now, let's keep in mind, 99.999% of the time, this is something that their child, friend, relative, or animal got in the yard or in the forest that they ate before. Either when it comes to the child, that they grabbed something and ate it, and before somebody could stop them. When it comes to an animal, they grabbed it and ate it before somebody could stop them, or they came in and started throwing it up. Or when it comes to an adult, a lot of times it's they thought it was an XYZ mushroom, and now we come to find out it's a ABC mushroom, which is not a good mushroom. And like I said, there have been quite a few occasions where they say, I'm sorry, but it's. Which, unfortunately, in some cases, I've looked it up when they say, I'm sorry, and even a full grown human, they mean, I'm sorry, this is not going to end well. So those are all natural too. I don't want to eat them. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And then the last one, the one that caused me to not go on social media all afternoon yesterday, was this one. Hold on. All right, so last one, and so recently, I over the weekend, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I had to get off of social media because I ended up on a page on Facebook, and of course I ended up in the comment section of a group claiming that, and again, this group has like close to 100,000 followers, and all these people sharing this stuff. How vaccinated people are growing little hairs, these little fibers out of our hair, that is actually nanotechnology that is growing in our system, from vaccinations, and is growing out of our hair, and it's the nanotechnology escaping from our bodies as it multiplies, so that it can shed on people who are unvaccinated and contaminate them. I mean, the amount of people in the comments section that were talking about, like, yeah, I found little fibers in my hair, and oh my god, that I must have got them when I was out in public from one of those vaxxed people, and I'm like thinking, like, it's wintertime in most of the country. If you put on a hood, a scarf, a hat, a hood, like a blanket, don't you all get little fibers in your hair too? Come, like, I do from, I mean, most of us wear woolen or knitted or crocheted hats. They all have yarn. Trust from a yarn person, I am covered in little fibers all the time from crocheting. I mean, if I freaked out every time I saw a fiber on me and thought it was nanotechnology, let me tell you, I would just be covered in tinfoil and hiding in a corner. I mean, come on. Like, really? And, like, the amount of people showing, like a fiber on their finger, like, I got this out of my eye. And it's clearly like a fuzz. Like, again, I work with fiber all day long, every day. And the amount of times I'm like, oh, my eye's itchy, and I rub the corner of my eye and I get yarn fibers out, it's like a constant, okay? It's constant. I mean, like, you should see when I wear my black gloves, depending on the yarn I'm doing, it looks like I'm covered. Like, my hands are fuzzy till the end of the day. And I'm thinking, people, like, again, it's wintertime. Even in, like, Florida, they've been getting cold weather. The inside of a hoodie is fuzzy. The inside, if you've had a sweater on, if you've had a blanket over you, I mean, like, ooh. Like, really? You think this nanotechnology trying to infect you from vaccinated people? I have concerns. Like, that's scary. And, like, the amount of people showing videos and, like, claiming that this is happening to them too, and then the stuff they're doing to prevent it, like, oh, if it gets on you, you need to drink a cup of water with a teaspoon of borax in it, and then take your ivermectin, and oh dear Lord. And I mean, even crazier stuff that I will not even because I don't want it out in the universe. I don't even want it out in the universe because some of the stuff was downright dangerous that they wanted people to do. I mean, they're like, you have to cleanse this from your body. You have to cleanse it from your body. And they're doing crazy stuff to try to get rid of this stuff. Like, you really think that, like, vaccines are more dangerous than this crap that you're doing? You guys are like mental. I mean, like, you have to get rid of all the heavy metals. It's the heavy metals and the nanotech. You have to kill the nanotech with stuff, like, and the amount of people like, oh, you have to do coffee enemas and drinking charcoal. I mean, like, okay, look, again, I know, I use activated charcoal in my soaps, okay? I love it. It's a great additive for my soaps. I use it, and I know that they use it a lot of times, you know, there's a use for it. Like, if you ate something or drank something like poisonous, okay, a lot of times now they don't want you to use they used to give you the Ipecac so that you would vomit it out. A lot of times anymore they don't want you to do that because actually getting rid of it can be more dangerous than leaving it in. A lot of times and again, this is not any sort of medical advice. A lot of times nowadays, though, like, what they do is, especially depending on what you ate or drank, or a kid ate or drank, they'll have you drink activated charcoal. And the reason for that, if you don't know, maybe you do, activated charcoal neutralizes a lot of stuff, but it also, the big thing that activated charcoal does if you drink it, is it doesn't allow your body to absorb things, right? Just like activated charcoal filters will take stuff out of the air, activated charcoal will take stuff out of, like, so it'll, like, say you drank something like acidy or poisonous or whatever, it can help. So not only does it absorb the stuff that you ate, but it also doesn't let your body absorb that stuff. Now, the problem with that is it works great for that kind of a thing. However, these people are saying that you need to drink activated charcoal or take the pills like 2 to 3 times a day for forever. Now, let's think about it. Like, okay, so activated charcoal doesn't know that it's only that you're taking it because you ate something you shouldn't have. Its job is to stop your body from absorbing things. It absorbs stuff so that your body doesn't absorb stuff. So if you're taking it all the time, your body can no longer absorb good things like nutrition and vitamins and minerals. You could potentially starve yourself. People aren't bright. I mean, again, I'm not saying activated charcoal is not bad, but to take it all the time is extremely dangerous. I'm just saying. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about people. So I hope this gave you something to laugh about today. I really, truly do. I hope this gave you a little something to laugh about today because we need some laughs in this world, even if it's at the expense of others. Because I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're putting this out on the internet. You know, this stuff is unhinged. It's, you know, and all these people are like, well, all these, you know, people think this is just conspiracy theory, but all the conspiracy theories are proving true. And yeah, well, there's still science and common sense. And I do realize that there's a lot of things that we learn every single day. New things come out all the time, but we also need to use a little bit of common sense, and that some of these things are not, you know, they're downright dangerous. And people are believing them and spreading this, and I hope you got a giggle out of it, because I certainly have been. I just, wow. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, On that note, I'm going to go for the second time, even though you guys didn't see the first time. I'm going to go. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you all have a blessed Monday. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. I hope you choose love every day and have a wonderful day and do something nice for yourself. Bye, everybody. Okay.